few of your questions. One of your questions was when I had recently a challenge that I had recently had at work, for example. And in this situation, my coworker was developing a program for youth. It was a really neat program called College Access para Todos. I've seen this name around here in New York, but this was what we thought was original, and it was meant to teach the community of the Latin American community within Charlotte, North Carolina, how to access university after high school graduation, especially for those individuals who were undocumented. That was the majority of the individuals that we served. I served the adult side in this community in particular, and I felt that we needed to have a simultaneous program for them as well. And when I presented this to my boss, I felt that it was kind of like a dismissed idea, and she didn't feel that it was of any importance to include the adults. And that gave me two options. One option was to not do anything, and the other option was to improve my presentation in something that I believed in. And so I did my homework, and I presented something to the whole team where I felt strongly that this was a good complement to the program. And sure enough, it worked out. And we ended up having the two programs, one for the youth and then one for the adults simultaneously. And that was really helpful for actually both of us, and it was very successful. So what I took from that was that you always have two choices. You have the choice of doing nothing, or you have the choice of being really proactive and doing something about, especially something that you believe is going to be helpful for a team. And I think that's important. The other question you asked was why would I want to work with low-income urban communities or youth and within the communities? And I'm telling you that having lived in Nicaragua for the last 4 years gave me a real clear sense of what lack of education can do, not only to the individual, but to the community as a whole. And I think that children deserve quality education. Every child deserves quality education. And I want to become a beta because I want to learn and acquire additional tools that I can use to be a better example for a community that is disenfranchised, such as usually low-income urban communities and the youth within them. A couple of other questions you asked was how would I measure a student's success? And I believe strongly that the will to learn is always there, and when they lose it, that should tell you something. The willingness to make mistakes and to work with you and to engage in identifying and solving the mistakes, I think is also a really good indication that somebody is being successful in learning. And I think I do not agree with grades at all, and I wish that those were abolished, but we can't do that. But I think that's my answer. Last, you asked for us to read The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, and you asked where I paused. Well, I paused from the beginning in many areas, but I think the one spot that really caught my eye was that although the statement of the new racial caste system has been developed and implemented, that statement that it was developed and implemented, I think really, really hit me hard, because I continue to struggle with acknowledging that a human being can actually willingly develop and implement evil. And that is a flaw of mine. And I want to trust that people are innately good. And I have a hard time. And so when I read that it had been developed and implemented swiftly, she adds, it really rocks me. And I think that what I walk away with after reading this is that I want to know how to do better. I know I have to check my biases, and I do on a regular basis. I try to do, but I really want to do better, and I just want to know how I can do better. That's the end again. My name is Susana Jerez, and I hope to see you on May 4th. Thank you.